विश्वास तुझ में ही समाए, साचा रूप साचा रंग मन में दिखाए, प्रकाशित हृदय में ईश्वर।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ पुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verses 41 to 50.
सखेति मत्वा प्रसभं यदुक्तम्, हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति, अजानता महिमानं तवेदं, मया प्रमादात् प्रणयेन वापि, यच्चावहासार्थमसत्कृतोऽसि, विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु, एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षम्, तत्क्षामये त्वामहमप्रमेयम्। पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य, त्वमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीयान्, न त्वत्समोऽस्त्यभ्यधिकः कुतोऽन्यः, लोकत्रयेऽप्यप्रतिमप्रभाव। तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायम्, प्रसादये त्वामहमीशमीढ्यम्। पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्युः, प्रियः प्रियायार्हसि देव सोढुम्। अदृष्टपूर्वं हृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा, भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे। तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपम्, प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास। किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम्, इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुमहं तथैव। तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन, सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते। श्रीभगवानुवाच मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदम् रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यम् यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वम् न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैः न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपः शक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर मा ते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावः दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमीदृङ्ममेदम् व्यपेतभिः प्रीतमनः पुनस्त्वम् तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य सञ्जय उवाच इत्यर्जुनं वासुदेवस्तथोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूयः आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनम् भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपुर्महात्मा
So we have been studying how Arjuna asked to see the Vishwarupa Darshan, and having asked to see it, he was granted that vision by the Lord, and he saw the immenseness of the whole thing. The Lord is all pervading. The Lord is all powerful. The Lord is everything. So he is creation, he is destruction, he is this means by which there is maintenance. Maintenance happens because there is creation and destruction. Otherwise, just imagine, nothing will be maintained. So, when we look at it from a very personal angle, we say that my dear one passed away. It could be a parent, it could be a child, it could be a sibling. When we look at it very personally, like my brother, my sister, my child, my parent, whatever it is, this is a matter of great sorrow to us. Because we have associated the magnificent Lord and his entire Prakriti with myself, with my limited personality. But if I just step back and I look at it, the way I look at it on National Geographic, I see the tiger chase the deer. I see the sharks eat the small fish. I see massive trees fall. I can see, I get some vision of the very cycles of nature, where birth and death and change are all intricately linked. These cycles that are going on have got nothing to do with me. But when I superimpose my personality on them, they are a cause for my joy and my sorrow. In our world, the construction of the earth itself is that we have a molten core inside. This is how our world is. I mean, how Earth is, how the planet is. There's a molten core. Because there is a molten core, we have the poles, we have the magnetic fields, we have all this thing happening. And because we have all of that, therefore life is possible on Earth. And that same internal heat is the cause of amazing destruction on this planet. So shall we call it benefactor? Or should we call it a cruel warlord? If it had not been there, life would have not been there. And since it is there, life is going to be wiped out. What should we call it? So when you step back and look at it, if you look at the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, it is our people there who are suffering. So it's a relationship to ourselves. Make us see sorrow. But when you stand back from it, you see the expression of the Lord. If it is somebody very close to us, the pain is more. The more I associate it with myself, the more difficult the whole thing becomes. My sister has come. My sister has come from abroad after 25 years. This statement is significant to me. But one lady has come from abroad to India. One person has come. What significance does this have? It's a statistic, right? So many thousand people, Indians, come to India, NRIs. So many NRIs come to India in a year. You're seeing the big picture. And the moment you see the big picture, you cease to be involved with the moment. Krishna shows him the big picture. And his reaction is fear. He can't handle it. Just like our reaction would be. We are shown the big picture. I don't want it. I can't hear it. The mind opposes that. That is why philosophers are usually crucified or given hemlock or thrown out of their communities, because people can't hear this. I mean, the people can't means the mind can't hear it. But the fact remains. So he says to Krishna, I understand there is some greatness here, but please take it away. I don't want to see it. I'm happy in my ignorance. Don't frighten me with all your statements. But now he's in the present. Imagine, okay, you have to imagine yourself. What is he going through? This is exactly what we would feel had we been in that situation. Imagine like a massive form is there, something huge and massive. And you're like a tiny dot over there. Will you not tell that form, please, can I see something smaller? Yes, Deepraj, yeah, we would have all fainted probably. Can you imagine what tiny things? Come back, don't show me this whole picture. I want to see it. So even, I mean, physically, that is how it is. But even figuratively, you can understand, right? If your mind is made to expand to something beyond its skin, it is terrified. And when it is terrified, think of what you would do if you are in front of your boss, okay? And you are, what? And that boss is very strict. He's in a very angry mood. What will you do? Will you not say, oh, you're so good, you're so great, you'll start flattering him? Exactly what Arjuna is doing. But does Arjuna understand anything of what he's saying? No, he doesn't. Can he communicate to us what he is saying? No, he can't. So, this is not the way you learn about God. I mean, not from what Arjuna says. Though what he's saying is true. Everything he's saying is true. And yet he himself has no idea what he's saying. So it's not education. This is just like, trying to pacify somebody who's very angry. Oh, you're so good. You're so nice. You're so great. Nobody can understand you. It's pacifying. Because he is terrified. So he says, salutation to you before and behind. Indeed, salutation to you from all sides. Namah purastat prushtataha. Sarvataha, from everywhere. Salutation, salutation. Namah, namah. Amita vikrama. Amita. Mita means to be measured. Amita means to not be measured. Your vikrama, your strength, your abilities are amita. Amita means immeasurable, infinite. Tvam sarvam samapnoshi. You complete everything. Tata asi sarva. Therefore you are all. You complete everything. He doesn't understand any of it. And yet what he's saying is true. You complete everything. You are the fulfillment of all desires. With you, everything is complete. Without you, nothing is complete. If we know we are the self, if the self is a real part of our life, we feel complete. But when we are in ignorance of the self, no matter what we have, that lacuna, that feeling of emptiness always continues. It's always there. So it's said that the self is the fulfillment of all desires. God is the fulfillment of all desires. So now we are praying to him and saying, okay, fulfill our desires. That's not what it means. What it means is when we recognize the presence of divinity, we feel fulfilled. You don't feel you want to ask anything. Sometimes you feel, oh, I want this, I want that, and I will go to the temple, or I'll go to my teacher, or I'll go somewhere and I'll tell them, please give me this. But when we go into the presence of greatness, you feel so fulfilled, you forget to ask what you came for. That is the story of Sudama. Remember the story of Sudama? He went to Krishna saying, he didn't want anything. His wife told him, go, you got such a big friend, you go, we are in Daridrata, we are in such poverty, go to your friend, he's a king, he loves you, he'll give you whatever you want. Sudama said, yeah, I know you'll give me whatever I want. And then he takes with him some beaten rice. And what? Because you go to meet somebody, you have to carry something with you. So what can he take, Vichara? He's too poor to take anything. So he takes some beaten rice, a muthi full of beaten rice. And then he goes to Krishna's palace, and Krishna is sitting there with his wife, and the guards won't let Sudama in. This is a big problem, The moment you become somebody, there's a little coterie around you which won't allow anyone to come in. The guards won't allow anyone to come in. And then there's a little ruckus. So Krishna comes out and sees that, oh my God, my good friend Sudama is there. And he comes, he hugs him, and he says, Sudama very frightened, because now he's seen what Aishwarya, what glory Krishna is living in. And he's brought him one fistful of beaten rice. So he doesn't even know, how can I give this? So what Krishna sees what he has, and he takes it from his hand and he says, oh, this is fantastic. And, he has it and all that. He puts one bite, and then he puts the second bite, and he stops him from eating the third one. And that's the story. But this Sudama, who's gone there, he stays with Krishna for a few days, and then he goes back home, and his wife says, what happened? Well, I forgot to ask. He stayed with Krishna for 3 days. He forgot to ask. But Krishna knew what's in his mind. So when he goes back, actually, there's a whole palace waiting for him. The thing is that when you are with something greater, nobler, higher, it becomes the fulfillment of desires. Means that desire is not there. It's gone. When you are in the presence of such a thought, such a person, feel completely fulfilled. So that's what he's saying. Sarvam samapnoshi tata asi sarva. Since you complete everything, therefore you are everything. So what he's saying is very true. Very inspiring to read what he's saying. But this is not how knowledge is communicated. Okay, so let's move to verse 40. Bharat. Sudama not asking also shows a self-sufficiency. Yes, it shows a self-sufficiency, but we are not discussing the effect. We're discussing what is the cause to be in the presence of greatness. It could be a person outside, it could be your own thoughts, it could be your own association with the self. The presence of the person is something we have experienced, or we could have experienced. You went to the temple or church or mosque to pray, and then you went there and you prayed and you didn't ask. If you're a true bhakta, you will end up there and you may forget to ask only what you are about. So these are kind of things we've experienced. Now the point is, if we could have them in our own self at all times, then we would not feel the need for asking. So yes, of course, Sudama is self-sufficient. Otherwise, he would have gone to Krishna earlier. Now he had to be pushed into going by his wife because he was full of daridrata. He was full of poverty. So he was self-sufficient. But the question is why? He was internally associated. Why did Krishna love him so much? Why did he come running out to meet him? He was internally associated. But the story is to show how even in the presence of, okay, I hope that's clear. So when you are internally associated with the self, you don't feel the need to ask. When an external circumstance arises because of which you are associated with divinity, again you will not ask. So it is showing both. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Janki-ji, how do we know at what stage of growth we are? Like Arjuna, we normally end up asking for things we are not prepared for. So how do we know what is it that I am prepared for and what will actually help me?
No, we don't work at it like that, because that is a formula for disaster. We have to work more internally. More internally means turn the whole vision internally. Firstly, we figure out what is our swadharma. Then we figure out what is the kind of service we can do in that field. Then we engage ourselves in those actions. And whatever comes out of that is prasad of the Lord. It's not for us to ask. Ask means, when we are asking, it should be, what is that service I am capable of doing? That is my ask, to find that ideal for myself.
Okay.
Don't sound so disappointed, Momita.
No, Janki-ji, the thing is, we do end up asking. I mean, because we feel I don't know, and there is something that I'm lacking, and I end up asking for it. But then I feel I'm not, I really need to work on what is it that I actually need.
Yeah, you have to. That's why you start with your swadharma, right? Because your swadharma is a base of your personality. So let us say that, for instance, you say my Swadharma is, I don't know, give me some example, Momita, some Swadharma.
To write.
To write. Okay, my Swadharma is right. Now the question is, what kind of area can this be maximum utilized in? Like what kind of writing? Do I want to do children's writing or detective stories or whatever? I have to figure that much out. Do I want to write film scripts? Do I want to write books? Do I want to write newspaper articles? Like what, am I a content writer? What writer? So that's what I figure out. Then I figure out in what area or in what manner can this be of maximum service to the maximum number of people. Okay, suppose I figure out that I would like to be a children's writer. So in what way can I be of maximum service to the maximum number of people as a children's writer? So I figure that out. Maybe I can tell them stories that will help build their character. Maybe I can take concepts and explain to them in some very interesting ways. I don't know, whatever I think, whatever according to me. Each one will have their own ideas, So I'm still fixing my Swadharma. I fix my Swadharma and then I fix what's that service I can do in that field. Okay, that's how you do it. Now you say, no, but I want to get married and I've got nothing to do with it, and that's got nothing to do with this. So that's why you say, I am asking. Asking. It's all part of the Swadharma. Let's say, for instance, this author, whoever wants to write, also wants to be married, also needs to have a house to live in, stuff like that. Now, having fixed the Swadharma, having fixed the idea, you have to fix the rest of the things. If I want to be an author and I'm writing for children's books, then I need a spouse who's not in clash with this in some way, right? I have to know this. If I want to be a diplomat, let us say, all right, I can't go and marry a spouse who's a publicity hunter, because the way people get publicity is to make controversial statements. Now, I can't be married to such a person. Because these kind of, imagine if you wanted to be ambassador to Pakistan and your wife was Rakhi Sawant. Can you imagine what chaos your life will be? So you fix the other aspects of life around the main one, whatever according to you is the main one. Okay, so I need a house, I need a spouse, I need a house. Do I need children, not need children? All of that should be well known about your own personality. But it's all fixed in association to whatever service you want to do, whatever your goal is, basically. So these other things is not that you're asking the personalities like that, what can I do? That's how it is. Not like you're asking. You decide, like suppose you want to say, I want to get married. So your question is it my Swadharma or not? All our attention is on who to marry. That's the wrong place to put it. First, is it my Swadharma? If yes, then I am doomed. You doomed means I have to get married. I have no option here. Then comes the question of what type of person. So most aligned to my idea. Can't be somebody who is not aligned to whatever I'm doing. Suppose I want to be a business person, okay? And my idea is to have, Narayan Murthy. Narayan Murthy was very inspired to build up Infosys. Now, I don't know the gentleman. I am only telling you what I have heard from his wife. I mean, I heard means WhatsApp and Facebook and all that kind of things come off hers. So she had said, this was her story, okay, not my story. She says that when I wanted to marry Murthy, somebody told her, a grandmother or somebody told her, that look, the man you're marrying is completely dedicated to his work. Now, if you marry him, please get it clear, he's not going to be with you. he's married first to his work. So when there's birthday party or PTA meeting or something, you can't pressurize him and say, come with me there, because he won't. So be clear about this before you do this. And she was fine. She wanted to marry him because, according to her, he was the most understanding person. So and according to her, that was the single biggest thing she was looking for. He had it. And then she of course supported him, and she did not tell him, come to PTA, come to with me to the wedding, come for birthday party, all this he can't do because he's doing something else. And then now she is left with a companionship problem, right? Like, because now she has to do everything on her own. So she lives in the house. I'm only repeating her story, okay, or whatever of that story I remember. Her house is up and down, and I think her sister or her mother or somebody, they live on one floor and she lives on another floor. And so when she wants to go shopping or she has a birthday party to go to, then these people go with her. And she is very close to her sister, so it's all working well. So you see, you have to design life like that. Otherwise, what happens is, here's a man who wants to build up Infosys, marries a woman who says, I need my husband coming with me every Saturday to see a movie. It's not working. It's never going to work. So everybody must first be very clear what their Swadharma is and what is it they're trying to do. All other aspects of their life have to be aligned to it. A person may say, my Swadharma is only marriage. I don't have anything else. Okay, then that you must do as a service. So what is your service? Work on it and marry accordingly. Right? So you don't have to give somebody a job to do. Maybe being a mother, being a wife is their Swadharma, or being a house husband, or whatever they want to be. There's no rule saying that only women are allowed to be wives and men cannot. Wives in the sense, be homemakers, and men can't. Why? A man may have that Swadharma. And that would be ideal for a woman who's a high achiever. Fantastic combination. And I'm giving all these girls ideas. They're thinking I should find a house husband somewhere.
Okay.
So you got to fix all the details based on your Swadharma and your goal.
Okay, so first you need
Is
to
that
figure
clear now?
So first we need to figure out what is.
You so lost, Momita. I don't know what more to say.
Can you hear me, Janki? What I'm saying is,
what is your Swadharma?
Yeah. So first, we fix our goal in life.
Is everybody having a difficulty? I can't hear Momita.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear with disturbances. Oh, you can all hear? Then is it my internet? Okay, let me move it then. This is beginning to trouble us again. Hotspot. How do you move this?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that first we need to fix our goal. Like, even if it is I want to be a homemaker or a parent, whatever it is, and then I'll be willing to make those sacrifices. Is that it? Can you hear me now, Janki?
Yes, I can.
I think maybe I should off my camera. So,
okay.
So we need to first fix our goal.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is to be a homemaker or a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And then we are willing to make the sacrifices towards that, and therefore what we are asking for is in tune with our overall goal of self-realization.
You have to know what you can. Sorry, say that again.
So first we fix our goal, which is our secular worldly goal, whatever it is that we think is our ideal. And then we are willing to make the sacrifices for that. And that's what we ask for, something that helps to align with that goal, to reach that goal.
No, why are you asking? I'm not very clear now. You have a goal and you're working towards it. Where's asking coming?
Because what I asked was that, like Arjuna, we end up asking for the wrong things.
So
something we are not prepared for.
Don't ask. That's the moral of the story.
But we do end up asking, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we have desires. So we have desires which are not clearly aligned with anything in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we need to know our Swadharma first.
That's right.
So once we know our Swadharma, then what we ask for, or what we think about, what we focus on, becomes something that is actually meaningful towards having a proper end to our.
Yeah. What is the area of service you want to do? So as a writer, you want to write children's books. That's your Swadharma, writing children's books. So now, in writing children's books, what is it you want to do? One way is say, I want to make a lot of money. Right. So this is not encouraged because this is not working. So what should you do? See, even people who claim I want to make a lot of money, you will notice none of them ever do. Those who make money have got it as a byproduct. They wanted to do something, and a consequence of that is that money would come to them. Come to them means not falling from the high heavens. If you are you are doing something useful for people, people will compensate you for that. Means you can't be thinking, I want to make money, Nobody is supporting you. But suppose you say, I want to start a shop where, people have the convenience of buying their groceries close by. Then because you're giving them the convenience of buying their groceries close to their house, the consequences, you get money. So you have to think, what is the service you're providing? In anything. That doesn't mean you're not running a business. It just means what are you trying to do? Who is this supposed to benefit? If you think of how it's going to benefit me, it's a non-starter.
Yeah, no, my point in asking this question was basically we all want to be happy, and what we are actually asking for is happiness. Or in our case, I think it's
I think you're going a little like all over the world.
No, yeah, I'm sorry, it didn't come out correctly. What I mean is that we are here to realize the self because we feel that is what ultimately is going to make us happy.
No, don't say that because that's not true.
Okay.
I don't think so. We have to start by what we know. You have to start by, this is my nature and this is what I think I should do with my life. Okay, whatever service I want to do. Meloni. Okay, now when you fixed your Swadharma and you fix whatever your goal is, now don't start asking, now do. Because when you're in your Swadharma, your desires are automatically fulfilled. You don't have to ask for anything. In fact, that's the very incorrect way of living life. It's the problem of life that we are asking stuff. To which then obviously you will say, then how will I get whatever I want? I cannot live without what I want. So that's why choose your Swadharma. Clear or not?
Yes, but my idol. Basically, I'm speaking about asking my idol, right? Like Arjuna's
Asking God.
God. Yes,
Huh.
God.
Hmm.
So, right, I
So
feel that
don't ask.
no, but then I'm asking for something which will help me realize him. I don't know.
What will help you realize is following the formula. Find your Swadharma, fix yourself the goal that currently inspires you. So you can say, okay, help me find my goal or help
Yes,
me find my Swadharma. But
yes.
that is
So
just an emotional prop, but you have to do it yourself.
correct. So the first step is to focus on the Swadharma and to be sure that that is my Swadharma and to direct my whole energy into that.
Into not your Swadharma, into the goal. Into the one goal that you have fixed for yourself. Like, for instance, you have taken a job. Now, why have you taken up a job? You should be clear. If your only answer to that question is because I need money, then this will be labor. It will not be work. Work is worship. Labor is I'm doing something so that I get something. And that's all the stress of life. So I don't function like that. I joined this company. I think, okay, so what way am I benefiting this company or this industry or my nation or humanity, whatever on earth is my vision in that thing. So I must have that. If you say I'm taking up a job because I need money, you're just entering a life cycle of misery. That's labor, right? That's the horrible thing. I need 1 lakh a month and I have to go to work, otherwise I won't get my 1 lakh. And also there's always a chance that I may do my work properly, but those guys may fire me and then I may not get a job. Unnecessary stress.
But isn't financial self-reliance also a stepping stone towards my actual goal, which is to realize the self?
Financial self-reliance is not a stepping stone. It is something that everybody has to have. It's like saying, isn't breathing a stepping stone to...
Yeah. So no, even in that
stepping stone, it is just something everybody has to have. You have to figure out how to have it. That's why you have to have a house, you have to have money, you have to have maybe your family, you have to have all these things. Whatever your Swadharma requires. But
so my job should be in line with my Swadharma.
Your job should be in line with your goal.
Okay.
What is it you want to do? Not I want to earn money. It's like saying I want to breathe. Doesn't make any sense. Or saying I want to sleep. What is that supposed to mean? These are just things that we have, right? You say I want to brush my teeth. And what do you mean I want to brush my teeth? Of course you have to brush your teeth. Of course you have to be financially self-sufficient. Means everybody, I hope everybody in this class has made a proper financial plan and scheme for themselves. So everybody has to do this. I mean, it's like, what? I don't know. Everybody has to eat, everybody has to drink, everybody has to sleep, everybody has to have money, everybody has to have a house, everybody has to have all these things. But these are all like things that we have to have them. And if we don't have them, we have to figure out a plan or a program by which we think we will have them. But our life's work is our life's work. Do you know about Salim Ali?
The ornithologist.
Yeah.
No, the snake. Okay.
No. Ornithologist, yes. He was he was an avid hunter. And then he went hunting. One day he shot a yellow-throated sparrow. And then he was having a teenager then, 12, 13 years old something. And then he went and collected what he had shot, and it was everybody said it was a sparrow, but he said no, it's got a yellow throat. Sparrows don't have a yellow throat. So what is this bird? Then he went to BHNS, he went here, there, he went investigating what is this bird. Okay, now here is is a young child expressing his Swadharma. It has sort of tickled his curiosity. And then he went out finding out more and more. And then his ideal became to know more about birds. And thereby, I suppose, help the bird community. I don't know what he thought. And then eventually he got the Padma Bhushan. Does this gentleman have to worry, where's my next meal coming from? Where is my money coming from? He's doing something useful.
Okay, so my job, my relationships, everything is aligned to my ideal.
That's right.
And when I pray to my idol, to God, that is what I pray for, the strength and the ability to make sacrifices for these things.
Yeah, okay. I don't know why you are so determined on praying and asking for something. Can't we go to your idol and just say thank you?
Yes.
To say, like, amazing, right? We are among the top 5% of this world. Have you ever realized that? Every one of us in this class, amongst the top 5% of this world, on this planet, you and I and all of us, top 5%.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
I feel, why should I pray to God? God knows what to give it to me, what not to give it to me. If I follow my Swadharma and other higher goals which I fixed. What do you say, sir, madam?
Yes. But this is an answer. What should I say to God is an answer to a person who would like to pray to God. So you say thank you. But if you don't want to pray to God or don't need to pray to God, then you have no reason to do so.
No, praying to God, I mean, we should not ask for God anything. God knows what to give it to me.
That's
and,
right.
And knows what to give, what not to give. So we should pray to God. But we should not ask anything. He knows what to give it to us.
Yes, that is correct. But we just try not to be prescriptive here.
Okay.
So if you want to ask him for something, then it's yes, better that you don't ask for anything. Actually, everybody has to do their sadhana their way. We are only trying to establish, if you think of God good because you are thinking of God, that itself is good. But now that you are thinking of God, how do you sort of improve that quality of thinking so that there is more God and less us? In whatever way we want.
We should not think in terms of selfishness.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Deepraj, is it always necessary that Swadharma is unique to a person, or can a person have multiple natures? He has to have one nature, Deepraj, otherwise he'll be a split personality. Is it always necessary that Swadharma is unique for a person? Swadharma is unique. Can a person have multiple natures? No, his nature is one. In that nature, he can have multiple interests. Nature is always one. But what it is composed of can be multiple things. And is it unique for everybody? Yes. Is this much okay, Deepraj? Okay. Then next question. Is it the same core natures that can manifest as multitudes? Is it the same core natures that can manifest as multitudes? Example, one might have a Swadharma for investigation into facts, so it might manifest both as a detective or a scientist. Is this possible? I see what you mean. Yes, of course, why not? So your Swadharma is not scientist or detective, then your Swadharma is investigation into facts. So such a person could be an investigative journalist if some part of it also likes to write. So there is no rules about anything. Where are you, Deepraj? How come I can't see you today? Okay, so there are no rules about anything. There you are. Okay, there are no rules. There could be a person who is a very specific swadharma to eat only rotis. He won't touch rice. Or his swadharma can be food in general. Or his swadharma can be writing about food. So you can have any kind of permutation and combination because a human being can be anything. So there are no rules on this thing. Whatever your swadharma is, whatever it is composed of, let us say it is 5% writing, 5% tennis, 80% mathematics, and then 10% of many, many small things like I like being in nature, I like having a good house, many tiny things. Then that composition is your particular swadharma. So when you choose what you're doing in life, it has to include all of this stuff in some way or manner. Right? So let us say that now, let's say 80% you're doing mathematics. So you choose your prime career in mathematics. Let us say, I'm just giving you an example. Now you have a 5% interest in writing. Then you may be doing Facebook posts along with it. Because small interest, some Facebook posts you do. Okay, but suppose it's 50% mathematics and 50% writing, and you'll be writing on mathematics because it will become part of your main line. So there's no rules about how much. Everybody is individual, everybody is different, and we celebrate that difference. We don't make it like everybody has to do the same thing or align to anything. In fact, that's what our university hopefully will do, allow people to fulfill their swadharma their way, and thereby create people who would be a great gift to humanity. Okay, you good with that?
Yes, yeah, exactly. It clears up a lot of things because I always thought of Swadharma as this one thing, but as you can say, as you said, it can be like multiple, like 50% something, 5% the other thing, and it's best to integrate all of them into a single discipline.
Yes, into one or whatever. You have to figure out how you're handling all this stuff in our own individual way. So therefore, no two people will be exactly the same, and each can flower in their particular beautiful way.
Thank you.
Janki-ji, on this point,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so multiple interests all have to be aligned towards being unselfish, right? I mean, you can't be saying that Vedanta, with the pursuit of Vedanta, I'll be unselfish, but with making money, I'll be selfish.
Then you will feel dichotomous within yourself if a person does something like that. So in Vedanta, how can you be unselfish and then in making money you're selfish? It can't be actually, because whatever is our level of selfishness will come across the board. If you say, oh, I'll go to Vedanta and I'll be unselfish, it won't happen. You will go there and the selfishness will, manifest in some way or the other. You may clash with people, or you may try to encash it in some way. You can't be two different people, right? We're all one person. So the same person who studies Vedanta, it's the same person who's going to go do business. So you can't have one different style here and one different style there and another style at home. It doesn't work like that. The selfish person will be selfish across the board. The unselfish person will be unselfish across the board. And you say, no, but when people come to Vedanta, see how much volunteer work they do, then they go somewhere and they do bad things. No, not really. In the volunteer work also, they will seek a self-interest at some stage.
Yes, thank you.
Omkar, did you have a question?
Yes, Jankiji. So sometimes I wonder whether, I mean, about the utility of a Swadharma and an ideal and all these things, because I mean, if you read the life of Swami Chinmayanan, he was a journalist who went to the Himalayas to expose the Swamis and the Gurus, and came across the right teacher, and his life simply transformed. And he took up something completely different. I mean, probably. I mean, so I'm wondering whether, and in the case of
Think
Mahatma
carefully
Gandhi,
what you just said, Omkar. Listen to what you're saying. Why did he go to the Himalayas?
he wanted to expose the Swamis.
Why does he want to expose the Swamis?
Maybe at that time his Swadharma was journalism, or maybe he was in search of truth.
Search of truth, wanting to serve the masses. Mera kya pada hai, let those people do what they want. The intent of serving the masses was there, right? He wanted everybody to know that he wanted to express whatever truth he had or whatever. And first he felt that, the truth is this. And then when he found the truth is something else, he expressed that. The Swadharma stayed exactly the same. It's not like look at how many books he wrote. That writing and all continues. Everything continues. You are the same person. The rose plant continues to be a rose plant. Sometimes with more fertilizers, it looks like blooming. Sometimes with no water, it looks like it's dying, but it's the same rose plant.
So in this example, his Swadharma and his ideal were both in a way fixed. Swadharma, maybe he was a writer, he was a journalist, he had a way with words, and his ideal was probably to serve humanity, but his means changed. Here he was doing it through journalism, and here he was doing it through spirituality. Is that the way to look at it?
No. Ideal can change any time. Swadharma stays the same. His ideal at that time must have been, to sort of whatever. Must have been to serve his newspaper, to serve his small community. I don't know, whatever his ideal was. Now we have to just add facts. Ideals change. Swadharma stays the same.
Hello, madam.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Just a second. There's a question here. Let me just answer it. Can hobby, DP Singh, can hobby and or interest be English equivalent of Swadharma? Hobby and or interest. English equivalent of Swadharma would probably be nature. Your nature. That means all of these things put together. Like say you have to get married, you have to do farming, whatever. Whatever, all of it put together, the whole bundle of your vasanas together, your manifested vasanas, of course, together forms a certain type of individual, a certain nature. That's just what I mean.
Thank you.
Shamala. Shamala, you're new to class. I don't think I've seen
Yes,
you before.
yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm new to the
Today's your
class.
first day?
Second day.
Okay, thank God. Otherwise, you will think that in this class, no Gita happens at all. Nobody study the text also. Today, nobody wants to study the text. I don't know why. We are able to fulfill some of our desires when we detect our Swadharma, and mental agitation will cease. As Swamiji says in FHI, we know not what we want. Does it also include a person who has found his Swadharma? Yes, it definitely includes a person who has found his Swadharma. So now when we fulfill our desires, our mental agitation ceases only temporarily.
Okay.
So that's why he says that we don't know what we want, because what we really want is self-realization. But nobody knows this. So that's what he means when he says we don't know what we want.
Okay.
Because if you really think about what you want, what is it you want? So I say, which city do you live in, Shamla?
I live in Malaysia.
Oh, you live in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thought you may be from Mumbai. But if you are from Mumbai, if you were from Mumbai, the big dream of people staying here is to buy a house of their own. And Mumbai is the most expensive real estate in the country. In the world also. I think it's second, the prices here are second to Manhattan or something. One flat recently was sold for 240 crores. 240 crores? I mean, we could have built 2 universities in that much amount. That's the kind of money that people spend. I mean, everybody doesn't have that kind of money, but what I mean is the top level is this. Normal houses are like 5 to 10 crores. Okay, good houses are like 25 crores. So that's the kind of money. So it's a big dream over here because who earns that kind of money? All right. So if you want to live in Mumbai, very, very expensive. That's a big dream. Now, many of us have a house. Think of that person there who doesn't have a house and is craving to buy one. And think of the people who have had a house all their life. They never had to think about I have to buy a house. Right? Think of that man craving and think of the person who has a house. The person who has a house, is he the most happy person on the surface of this earth because he has a house in Mumbai? It means nothing to him. And yet for that one craving, he feels if I only had a house, everything will be fine. We are beyond time, but I'm going to tell you this example of what I saw yesterday. It was heart-touching. One man got hold of us on the roads here and he said, please let me polish your boots. I take only 5 rupees from you. Why would you do that? He said, and then, okay, fine, polish it. I mean, not my shoes, my husband's shoes. Then he let him polish it. And then he said, you let me polish shoes, but other people don't let me polish shoes because I don't have I forgot what word he used. There's a wooden thing that they keep the foot on. So I only carry my theli, a little bag. So people don't let me polish. So I hardly get any customers and I hardly make 30-40 rupees a day. I hope you people understand who are not from India, understand what is 30-40 rupees a day. It's not even survival. So I need that wooden thing to do this. And his life is like, I need that wooden thing. And it costs 300-400 rupees. So there's no way he's going to get it. Means imagine what he has to do to get it. If he earns 40 rupees a day, how is he supposed to eat his food? And now we don't know whether this story is true or false. We don't know what it's like. So we just gave him like $100. He had asked for $5. So he was completely like, what happened here, but I don't know. He may have used it for drugs for all that I know. But the thing is, think of that man who just wants that wooden box and how much he believes that should I just get that wooden box, my life will be set. Can you catch hold of him and say, no, my friend, the moment you get that wooden box, the police are going to come and catch hold of you and move you from wherever you are because they won't let you sit on the street. Now you're walking, right? He doesn't know this. Now he's walking with this thela of his. So nobody can stop him because he's walking. But the moment he sits, somebody will make him get up. Because you can't go and sit on the road like that. So his whole life is around getting that wooden box. And he's an English-speaking guy. I'm saying English-speaking means obviously has to be educated not to speak English. And yet you know not what you want. I can't tell him you know not what you want. You want the self, my friend. Suppose I stood there and gave him a lecture on self-realization, what would happen? Can't work, right?
Yeah.
You know not what you want. Even though you're very clear, this is what I want.
Thanks, Nani.
Okay, so that's it.
Hello.
Thank you, Ji.
Yeah, Bharat.
Hello, madam.
Can
Hello?
you give your question next time because we are